regain strength as it approaches the west coast of Florida. Supposed to hit sometime on Wednesday, and they say it's the strongest storm to hit that area in 100 years. This is really, really terrifying when you think about winds that could reach a level that they are contemplating whether or not they need to reclassify hurricanes as Category 6 to accurately describe Milton's potential for devastation. Early today, its winds were at 145 miles an hour, which is a Category 4 storm, but it is expected as it makes its way across the Gulf of Mexico. It is expected to gain strength, storm surge of 15 feet, Sarasota, Tampa, and others. I've never seen a quote like this. There are always quotes, and I lived in Florida for a while, and I've seen the devastation in Homestead, Florida, from Hurricane Andrew. We obviously are fresh in our minds the demonstrable power of the weather, given Hurricane Helene in North Carolina and Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. But I've never seen a political official say this. They always say, evacuate, it'd be best to evacuate, shouldn't try to ride this out. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor told CNN, "I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you are going to die." So this is really, really scary. And its winds, they say, could approach 192 miles an hour. It's the third fastest intensifying storm on record in the Atlantic Ocean, and will regain strength as it gets closer to land. So that is what's the latest with Hurricane Milton. I have a friend who has a place in the Sarasota area. He implored his neighbors yesterday to leave, to come up to Ohio. I-75 is jammed. Nobody can move on I-75. But eventually you'll make some progress and get out of there. But we've already had a death toll of over 230 people from Hurricane Helene. And some of the same areas are likely to be devastated. The big threat, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, says, is they want to clear the debris from Hurricane Helene, because you put 160 mile an hour winds with a bunch of debris laying on the ground. What do you get? You get very fast flying, very dangerous projectiles. So that's what's going on. And if you have family down there, if you have friends down there, if you have a place down there, for heaven's sake, don't try to get down there. Let the storm come in, save your own life. Don't try to save your stuff. Stuff can be replaced. Your life can't. Tampa Airport closed this morning at 9 a.m. The Orlando Airport is supposed to close to commercial flights at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Already flights out of John Glenn International Airport have been canceled into Florida. So this is, unless the forecasters are wrong, this is going to get bad, and it's going to get bad very quickly. And it's going to be, it's even possible, given what we've seen out of North Carolina, it's going to be more devastating than what we saw from Hurricane Helene. A couple of other stories in Columbus to update you on before we get to the Kamala Harris interview. And we're going to get to the Kamala Harris interview because while Hurricane Milton is a natural disaster, she is a political disaster. And it was never more apparent. This was like the first, she's been on the ballot, what? She's been the Democratic nominee since what, late July? So August, September, 2.5 months. Last night was the first time, and this is amazing to say. Last night was the first time she has faced anything approaching tough questions in a one-on-one interview. And that's amazing to say, because for 60 minutes to be the venue on which she would face tough questions, is it fresh in your mind how hard Norah O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan tried to advantage Tim Walz in the vice presidential debate last week? That's the same network as 60 Minutes. Is it fresh in your mind how Leslie Stahl, when Donald Trump brought up the Hunter Biden laptop in 2020, Leslie Stahl was like, we can't verify it. It can't be verified. We're not going to look into it. Can't be verified. And then every news organization in the country, New York Times, Washington Post, CBS, And the federal government verified the Hunter Biden laptop to the point where they introduced contents of it as evidence in Hunter Biden's gun trial and tax evasion trial. Can't be verified. That's CBS. That's 60 Minutes. And I'm saying last night, Bill Whitaker, hey, I got to shout you out, Bill Whitaker. He was the Velvet Hammer last night. He came with like follow-up questions, and he actually asked decent questions. He didn't press her enough. I would have interrupted her more, but he did the best job. And I've said it before, she's not stupid because she's black. She's not stupid because she's a woman. She's stupid independent of her immutable characteristics. She is a very dumb person, with no ideas and an inability to answer questions, which will become apparent to you as we play multiple clips from the interview.
Mostly sunny, nice afternoon. A high today at 71. Clear tonight, low 46. And then sunny and pleasant for tomorrow. A high again at 71. Clear skies, chilly tomorrow night, low 44. And then sunny Thursday, the high at 67. Clear and cold Thursday night, low 41. Partly sunny, very good day on Friday. High Friday 74. Sunshine, a little bit warmer on Saturday, the high 78. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
Limited time left. Are you ready to seize a unique investment opportunity that could save you in taxes for 2024 and help you secure your financial future? Goldman Sachs predicts oil to remain in the $70 to $100 range. So why not invest in the uptrend now? That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you are an SEC accredited investor with at least $100,000 in liquid assets, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's exclusive projects and a significant tax write-off for 2024. But hurry, there's limited time left this year to benefit from the incredible tax incentive. Imagine nearly 100% of your investment being deductible for 2024. Don't miss out on this limited time opportunity to create monthly income for up to 20 or more years to come. Call 800-278-7455 now and connect to a knowledgeable Encore Energy representative. Encore is a major investor and experienced operator in its core area of operations. Call Encore Energy now at 800-278-7455. That's 800-278-7455.
The Caribbean is calling. Dennis Prager here, and I invite you to join me on a Caribbean cruise this November. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. We'll cruise the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Aruba, and more. Stroll through Curaçao's iconic pastel-colored shops and snorkel in Bonaire's world-class coral reefs. You'll enjoy some of the most delicious cuisine aboard Holland America's Rotterdam, a fantastic destination itself, this ship, with riveting shows and breathtaking views. We'll be joined by a special guest, Sean McDowell, and we'll both share fresh insights. We'll have dialogue on religion, current events, happiness, and our future in America in light of the election. November 29 to December 8th. Secure your spot today by calling 855-565-5519 or book online at pragercruise.com.
Who are the people that serve part-time in the Ohio Army National Guard? We are your neighbors and friends. We are your sons and daughters. Our service is providing us valuable job skills, and it pays up to 100% of our tuition. We're proud to serve our state. We are your Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Before the most pivotal election of our lifetime, the Battleground Talkers Tour comes to Columbus. Be a part of the critical conversations that will influence the direction of America. See Bruce Hooley, Hugh Hewitt, Mike Gallagher, and special guests live on stage Tuesday, October 22nd at Genoa Church in Westerville. The Battleground Talkers Tour. Tickets start at just $5 and are available now at 989theanswer.com.
Maybe like me, you're a union guy who's watched your union promote issues that violate your faith. I couldn't live with myself when I knew that my dues were being used to advocate abortion. I contacted the National Right to Work Foundation. They told me the union can't force me to support its agenda. I pray for them, but I no longer compromise my beliefs. I give my union money to an agreed-upon charity instead. If you want to learn more about your rights, contact the National Right to Work Foundation at 1-800 336-3600 or access their website at nrtw.org.
MyPillow.com products are crazy low priced right now, and I say that, you say every single month you say that. They're always low, Bruce. Come on. Well, they're getting lower. The $14.88 price on the standard MyPillow, that is the lowest I've ever seen it. Now, you might say, wait a second. $25 I thought was the big deal at MyPillow. The $25 extravaganza sale, yeah, still going on, except that the Queen MyPillow and the King MyPillow are now under $25. I think they're like $18.88 and $19.88. Go to the site and check it out for yourself. Use my promo code Bruce to get the lowest pricing. Don't restrict yourself to the pillow. I mean, that's just part of the sleep experience, a big part, maybe the most important part. Although I don't know, the mattress topper is a pretty important part. The Giza Dream bed sheets are a pretty important part. So check out all the prices at mypillow.com. Use my promo code Bruce to get the lowest prices ever. You won't regret it. Mypillow.com, promo code Bruce. So Benny Johnson is a guy on Twitter who's a conservative commentator, and he's to be credited for reining in a lot of wokeness out there. John Deere, TSC, Harley Davidson, they all had DEI stuff in their company profile, and Benny Johnson exposed it, and I like Benny Johnson a lot, but Benny Johnson is dead wrong. I'm going to play you a Kamala Harris cut from last night, and then I'm going to explain to you why Benny Johnson is blatantly, unfortunately, wrong.
Was democracy best served by President Biden stepping down and basically handing you a nomination? You didn't have to go through a primary process. You didn't have to fight off other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
President Biden made a decision that I think history is going to show is rare among leaders, which was to put country before self. And I am proud to have earned the support of the vast majority of delegates and to have been elected the Democratic nominee. I am proud to have received the endorsement of leaders around this country from every background and walk of life to fight in this election over the next month for our democracy.
But I think this truncated process is why people think or say they don't really know who you are.
Look, I've been in this race for 70 days.
Which has nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with anything. His question, Bill Whitaker's question was, you know, this process, this is like not how the process is supposed to work. And she's like, I've earned the support. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. So Benny Johnson plays this clip on Twitter and he writes, there is no coming back from this. No, there actually is coming back from this, Benny. Love your work exposing wokeness, but you are wrong. And you know you are wrong because you have observed, certainly, as I have, as everyone with a functioning brain has, which lets Kamala Harris out of the equation, that there is always coming back from whatever inane, untrue, moronic statement this scarecrow of a candidate makes. And you know why that is? Because her vapidity, her emptiness, never gets too heavy for the American media to lift her up, and yes, for the stupidity of the Democratic portion of the American electorate to forgive her ineptitude. Never! It's never, because orange man bad. That's why. This is like the bumper sticker. My two favorite teams are Ohio State and whoever plays Michigan. Like, right? This is the political view of half of America. I don't care if Israel ceases to exist. I don't care if gas prices are $5 a gallon. I don't care if grocery prices. At least Donald Trump is not president. That's the viewpoint of half of the American electorate. Yeah, but it hurts you. Yeah, but Donald Trump's not president. Idiots. We are a nation half filled with idiots. Many of them work in Columbus City Council. Did you see last night what Columbus City Council did? They approved the expenditure of up to $7 million, including $3 million in new money to address the fallout of the ransomware attack that they could have mitigated by spending $1.6 million. Democrats love spending money. The only thing they love thing more they love than spending money is spending your money, which is where they get all their money. The city's chief technology officer, Sam Orth, yes, he's still employed. Of course he is. Failure has no consequences in the Democratic Party, and our city is run entirely by Democrats. According to Jordan Laird of the Columbus Dispatch, Mr. Orth told City Council little new information about the ongoing investigation, but he defended how long the investigation and recovery are taking. And then he explained what they're going to be spending the millions of dollars on. They've already spent $4 million with a law firm to respond to the breach. They voted unanimously, all the Democrats, City Council's all Democrats, remember, to modify the contract and authorize an additional $3 million. Oh, yippee-ki-yay. And they hired a second law firm, one of the city's big hitters, Vorey, Sater, Seymour, and Peace, to represent the city in any lawsuits filed against the city related to the data leak. Yeah, get ready for that. The original contract with Vorey, Sater, Seymour, and Peace was $50,000. A lawyer is not going to take his pen out and click it for less than $50,000 at that firm. Mr. Orth says the city and its contractors are working on a report about what happened that will be available this month or next. Wow. Don't stress yourself, Sambo. July 18th was the data breach. 3 months. Yikes. How are we doing on the restoration of city systems? Well, 106 remain offline. So that's 27% of the city systems. And of course, in keeping with the city's pledge to be open and honest and transparent about this, I quote directly from the Dispatch story, Sam Orth was not available to take questions from the media, according to a spokesperson for Mayor Andrew Ginther's office. I hope it's a spokesperson you're paying overtime, Andy, because we'd hate for another one of your staff members to file a lawsuit against the city for $200,000 in unpaid overtime, like happened last month. You can still sign up for your 2 years of free credit monitoring. Free. Pay taxes in Columbus? It's free. It's all free. Yeah, sure it is. You sign up by November the 29th. Wait for the tax increase. Wait for it. Wait for it. We should have a pool. When's the tax increase going to be announced so the city can cope with all the costs from the data breach to pay for the free credit monitoring you're all supposed to get? When's that going to happen? Unreal. Now, also last night, City Attorney Zach Klein, who's complicit in this utter incompetence, Zach Klein has a message for you. Sure, you can steal a car in Columbus, just don't try to street race it. Because if you do, Zach is coming for you, baby. Now, I'm not for street racing. I'm just find it utterly incomprehensible how they can get all high and mighty about cracking down on street racing, because a few rich people who live in condominiums in the Short North complain about the noise. That's why, because it messes up the commerce in the Short North. And again, I'm for commerce, I'm for capitalism, but they don't get serious if a car's going super fast with teenagers inside of it, endangering you, me, and the rest of the city. That I don't care. But street racing, hey, brother, we're taking your car and we're going to fine you for that.
not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. I'm Lance Wallnau, news analyst, Christian author, control leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elite are doing is using inflation, government handouts, and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898. I'm taking action.
Do not miss out on the October 22nd Battleground Talkers Tour event at Genoa Christian Fellowship in Westerville. It's going to be a great night. A lot of great speakers. Hopefully, I'll be one of them. I mean, I'm speaking. I just hope I'll be great. You won't know unless you come. Tickets are only $5 general admission. Get them at 989theanswer.com. You can also join us for a VIP experience beforehand. What do you get for that? Well, you get food, get a chance to meet and greet the hosts, besides myself, our own Jack Windsor, host of the Windsor Report, heard here on The Answer from 5 to 6 p.m. every single night. Also, our Salem Radio Network colleagues, Mike Gallagher, Hugh Hewitt, probably another one, maybe two. We'll have some politicians who have been elected already and some who wish to be elected again. So join us, will you? You won't unless you go to 989theanswer.com and buy your general admission tickets for $5 or your VIP tickets after the discount code Bruce25 for $104. So use that discount code Bruce25 at 989theanswer.com. One of the most despicable, dishonest reporters at the Columbus Dispatch is Haley B. Miller. She lies with half-truths. And the headline today, if Bernie Moreno, and I know she'll say, I don't write the headline. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't care. If Bernie Moreno wins Ohio Senate seat, he could be one of the richest members of Congress. Oh my goodness! You can't vote for Bernie Moreno, he's rich! Right? That's the takeaway from this. Bernie Moreno is rich, so you can't vote for him. Well, it's going to come as some really bad news for Nancy Pelosi, who, when she went to Congress in 2007, I believe it was, had a net worth of, $20 million? And now she has a net worth of $171 million. Boy, Congress pays better than I thought. $171 million. Nancy Pelosi. Or it's going to come as bad news to Dan Goldman, the stooge knucklehead Democrat from New York, who's heir to the Levi Strauss fortune. His last financial disclosure had him worth $253 million. Buy a brain, Dan. You could use one. But Haley B. Miller's story says there are a few rich members of Congress, and an Ohio Republican could join their ranks if he wins in November. Yes, it is so evil. And so apparently, according to Haley B. Miller, disqualifying for Bernie Moreno to build an array of successful businesses, risk his own capital, take chances that could break his family, employ other people, better their lives, pay them for work done. I mean, when I could just sit on his butt and collect a government check like Sherrod Brown for 50 years. It's so noble what Sherrod Brown is doing that he cannot let go of doing it. He is 71 years of age, and he's running for another 6-year term in the Senate. But Sherrod Brown, he and his poor wife, Connie Schultz, who's a woke columnist at the Plain Dealer where I used to work, they have a combined net worth of $284,000 to $660,000. If you believe that, you are stupider than Haley B. Miller. You are stupider than Kamala Harris. If Sherrod Brown's net worth after being in politics for 50 plus years is $284,000, what does he live in a tent in the woods? Imagine he's been in the government for more than a half a century, and you're telling me this dude does not have any real estate holdings that are paid off that are his entirely? I'll be nice, bogus. I call bogus. Oh, sure. So Haley B. Miller writes that Moreno has faced criticism from NBC News for buying a $9.5 million parcel of land in Delaware County north of Columbus for a new Mercedes-Benz dealership. Moreno signed a $40 million mortgage agreement for the property. According to records reviewed by the USA Today Network Ohio Bureau, that took all kinds of investigative chops. All they had to do was go to the Delaware County Auditor's website, which any idiot can do. Moreno says the dealership will be run by his son. And in responding to the criticism, Bernie Moreno said, "This is exactly what's wrong with Sherrod Brown. He should be sending my son a note saying, thank you so much for investing in Ohio, risking your capital and making a decision to live here and start roots here." Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever worked for anyone who is not richer than you? Anybody? No is the answer. No one works for anyone who does not have more financial wherewithal than they do, because it takes financial wherewithal, vision, acumen, business savvy, and all that to start a business and employ other people and be profitable. Now, let's see. Do any of those qualities apply themselves to, managing trillions of dollars in the federal budget, stewarding resources in a judicious fashion, making sure that the entire operation functions efficiently? Would that come in handy at all in government? Well, apparently not. If you're watching what FEMA's doing in North Carolina, if you're watching the, $42 billion that we've invested in rural internet throughout America without hooking up one home. We can't give that job to Elon Musk and Starlink until a hurricane blows through and people are stranded on the mountains in North Carolina. Then Elon, go ahead, bring your Starlink setup here to please save us from the mounting criticism for our feckless rescue of the people in North Carolina. This is such an inane, dangerous attitude that has been put forward by communists and socialists and nutcases like Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, AOC, and others. Remember AOC? She was going to stand up for her district in New York City, and she was going to run Amazon out of New York, and she did, along with all the jobs that would have come with it. Success is not a disqualifying characteristic of a political candidate. It is a defining characteristic of a political candidate. Would you rather elect people like Bernie Moreno who fall in line with the spirit of the founders, who are successful, go to serve, and then return to private business? Or would you rather elect people who are handpicked by the power brokers in their party, grab a political power position like Nancy Pelosi did, and exorbitantly increase their wealth while they're in government, making less than $200,000 a year, and somehow growing their net worth by between $120 and $150 million over the last 20 years? Does that sound even possibly corrupt to you? It sounds a whole lot more than possibly corrupt to me. Yet it is upheld and defended by the Democratic Party. Oh, you can't elect a rich guy. Rich guys are out for themselves. Would you rather elect somebody like Kamala Harris who wants to give away 50 grand to start a small business and 25 grand to lower housing prices? If you knew that the person who was going to buy your house had $25,000 given to them that they could only use if they spent it to buy your house, what would that do to the price you would charge for your house? I know what it would do if I were selling the house. I would increase the price $25,000, maybe more, because I know they have the money. And where are they getting that money? Oh, they're getting that money from Kamala Harris. Yeah, they're getting that money from the Democratic Party. Let's go trace it back a little bit more. Where are they getting it? Oh, that's right. They're getting it from the American taxpayer, which is you, unless you're a Democrat. You don't pay taxes. Oh, wait. No, the Democrats say billionaires don't pay taxes. Joe Biden, you've heard him say it a million times. Kamala Harris said it on 60 Minutes last night. Billionaires pay less taxes than school teachers and firefighters. My wife's a CPA. She's done taxes for 50 years. I can tell you anecdotally, without her ever giving me the name of a client, that is categorically untrue. Josh Pick on Friday, when he comes in here for the Aptus Retirement Radio Show, will tell you that is categorically untrue. But you might not believe my wife, and you might not believe Josh Pick. Maybe you'll believe PolitiFact. Democrats love to believe PolitiFact. They hold up PolitiFact all the time. Trump says this, PolitiFact says, fact check false. What did PolitiFact rather, say about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's claim that billionaires pay a higher tax rate? Well, let's just read it right off the page. The top 0.1% of earners with more than $4.4 million in cash income pay an average tax rate of 25% in federal income and payroll taxes. Those in the middle 20% of Americans with income between $60,000 and $105,000, that would be your firefighters and teachers, pay an average of 12.3%, which, according to my fuzzy high school math, is less than half the tax rate of billionaires.
I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
ProView Remodeling, Central Ohio's one-stop residential remodeler specializer in the best sunrooms, windows, doors, decks, sidings, patios, porches, motorized screens, and more. Call ProView Remodeling today and get 60 months, 0 interest, or 25% off. Call 7 days a week, 614-756-3140. You win with ProView, 614-756-3140, or go to proviewremodeling.com.
Hi, Eric here with Ultimate Tax Group. If you owe back taxes to the IRS or state, personal or business, my team and I want to help you take your freedom back. Call Ultimate Tax Group at 888-505-1099. We will stop or prevent bank levies or wage garnishments. We care and fight for our clients. Call us today, 888-505-1099, ultimatetaxgroup.com.
It's really simple. You log on to 989theanswer.com, search for the item you need, buy the certificate, and boom, you just saved at least half the price when you shop the Answers Discount Shopping Club. From mattresses and HVAC systems to half-price school tuitions, the Discount Shopping Club is an easy way for you to save half off or more on the things you can really use. Items come and go and are usually in limited supply, so start saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars today in the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com.
Quick question. Did you know that the conservative news and talk content that you're currently enjoying on this station and online is supported by advertisers? Here's another one for you, and this one is for our business audience. Are you aware that our loyal listeners eagerly engage with our advertisers because they know that these advertisers share their values and care about our programming as much as they do? Listeners, tell your favorite businesses about us. And business owners, contact us today to create and implement strategies that drive people to connect and engage with you, helping you grow and experience the value of long-term loyal customers. Join with us today to continue spreading the good word.
To learn how to reach our audience with your business's message and support this station, contact Carolyn Cassidy at 614-318-0401 or click on the Advertise With Us banner at 989theanswer.com. That's 989theanswer.com.
The Dinesh D'Souza podcast, now available on the Salem Podcast Network.
Not only does the GOP establishment act in a pathetic and cowardly way, but they try to convert this cowardliness into a virtue. You know, we don't really want to fight. We have good manners. We give our opponents the benefit of the doubt. And the left goes, those guys are precisely the type of invertebrate wimps that we were hoping for.
Subscribe to the Dinesh D'Souza podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Are you among the millions of Americans living with chronic pain? If so, you may think prescription opioids are the solution. Truth is, opioids only mask the pain, and they come with serious side effects, from nausea to withdrawal symptoms to overdose. There is another choice: physical therapy. Physical therapists treat pain through movement and exercise. Choose physical therapy. Visit moveforwardpt.com. This public service announcement is brought to you by the American Physical Therapy Association.
PatriotSwitch.com products are good for you, good for your family, and good for those of you who would like to strike a blow against woke corporations. Man, I hear horror stories all the time about big companies like Monsanto, Kellogg's, and others, what they're doing to our food supply. They're poisoning us. I just heard yesterday from a friend with a dire health diagnosis in his family, and it's depressing, and a lot of it has to do with our food supply. So what if you could buy products, and not just food too, like mouthwash, toothpaste, cleaning products, things that touch your skin or go into your body? What if you could buy products that you know are healthy for you because they're made from plants, from a company, privately owned, family owned, that's never paid a product liability settlement? You can't. It's an online store. You buy an annual membership. The annual membership is $19. It gets you a 35 to 50% discount on every one of the 450 plus products that they make. You're buying all this stuff right now at the store. Why not buy it from a truly quintessential American company? PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce, PatriotSwitch.com/Bruce. I've cited before Kamala Harris's proximity in the polls to Donald Trump as proof that at least half the American electorate is just brain dead stupid. The same applies to the polls regarding issue 1 in the state of Ohio. This looks like it's going to pass, and this is going to be disastrous. This is gerrymandering. This is finagling the system to get more Democrats elected that can win on merit. You know that's the case because that's what the Democrats are telling you it is not. What is their character? They are liars. They cannot open their mouth without lying. How do you know this is a bad bill? Because 82% of Democrats back it. Here's the disappointing part. Only 41%. Oh, no, excuse me. 41% of Republicans back it. What is wrong with you people? Vote no on one. You want unelected bureaucrats to pick the districts for the state of Ohio, or do you want politicians who are elected and are accountable to you? You're voting for anonymity? You're voting for smoke-filled rooms? You're voting to take away supermajorities in the House and Senate in the state of Ohio? Ridiculous. Wake up. This in spite of the fact that 59% of the respondents in this poll, taken in the state of Ohio with 1,000 registered voters, 59% believe the country's economic condition has worsened in the last year, and 23% believe the country is headed in the right direction. So 77% don't believe it's headed in the right direction, but let's trust Democrats to fix it because they've done such a bang-up job over the previous 4 years. And 12 of the previous 16, I might add. Republicans do a crappy job of getting the message out on it. How many vote no on one signs have you seen in yards? This is how we got legalized gambling. This is how we got rampant, unrestricted abortion. This is how we got legalized marijuana. We've got, have you seen Governor DeWine talk about this? Have you seen any of our top elected officials talking about this? No, you have not. Ridiculous. Utterly, indefensibly ridiculous. Now, we're going to play the rest of the show a lot of what Kamala Harris had to say last night, or rather didn't say, on 60 Minutes. She spoke a lot. She just didn't answer any questions. Keep track with me, will you? As Bill Whitaker attempts to extract information from Kamala Harris, starting with the complex situation in the Middle East. See if she answers the question.
The events of the past few weeks have pushed us to the brink, if not into, an all-out regional war in the Middle East. What can the U.S. do at this point to stop this from spinning out of control?
Well, let's start with October 7th.
No, let's answer the question.
100 people were massacred. 250 hostages were taken, including Americans. Women were brutally raped. And as I said then, I maintain Israel has a right to defend itself. We would.
Here comes the but.
What does so matters. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. This war has to end.
Stomp your foot diplomacy. It always works so well. This war has to end. Far too many Palestinians have been killed. Yes, they have. That's what war is. When you break your way through a fence and shoot innocent civilians and fry babies in ovens and rape women to death, yes, you get killed in response, and the citizens who put you in power, Hamas, get killed in response. I feel no sympathy for you. Did she answer the question? What can the U.S. do to stop it? No, of course she did not. Because, of course, that would offend the people in Dearborn, Michigan. And she can't afford to do that. Because power is everything. Now, then Bill Whitaker went into Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, and the Harris and Biden administration's relationship with him, or lack of same.
The Biden-Harris administration has pressed him to agree to a ceasefire. He's resisted. You urged him not to go into Lebanon. He went in anyway. Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu?
No, because he knows you're an idiot.
Diplomatically, with the leadership of Israel, is an ongoing pursuit around making clear our principles.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
I feel like I'm watching the Guardians game yesterday against the Tigers. Question, swing and a miss. Question, swing and a miss. I mean, she can't answer anything. She won't answer anything. Now, Bill Whitaker gave up. He moved on to grocery prices. Oh boy, that hasn't gone well on CNN with Dana Bash. It didn't go well with Stephanie Rule. Maybe on the third pitch, she'll finally get her bat on the ball of grocery prices.
There are lots of signs that the American economy is doing very well, better than most countries, I think. But the American people don't seem to be feeling it. Groceries are 25% higher, and people are blaming you and Joe Biden for that. Are they wrong?
No.
We now have historic low unemployment in America among all groups of people. We now have an economy that is thriving by all macroeconomic measures. And to your point, prices are still too high. And I know that, and we need to deal with it, which is why part of my plan, you mentioned groceries. Part of my plan is what we must do to bring down the price of groceries.
Part of my plan is what we must do to bring down the price of groceries, which is what? Which is what? I have in my plan a plan to bring down grocery prices. What is it? What is it? Did she answer the question? Is that fair for people to blame you? No, of course. She did not, because she's the Guardians trying to get a run against the Tigers. Inept. She's neck and neck with Donald Trump in the polls, folks. She could be our next president. She very easily could be our next president. Because if the events of the past couple years have shown you anything, it is the Democrats will stop at nothing to keep Donald Trump out of the White House. They have prosecuted him 4 times. They have invented laws. They have changed laws. They have handpicked judges to go after him. They have tried to literally kill him twice. Not Democrats themselves, but their rhetoric certainly didn't help any with people who view him. They have labeled him a fascist. They have said he needs to be eliminated, that he needs to be exterminated. None of this, of course, would be abided if Republicans did it to Democrats. And they have demonstrated with their election apparatus and their ballot harvesting efforts in 2020 that they are fully capable of staging a post-midnight surprise to get their preferred candidate elected president. This is why I am not optimistic about the upcoming election and why I am terrified of what our country will become with Kamala Harris in the White House and her buffoon vice president a heartbeat away.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
My debt problem started probably about 2016. I needed my life to change financially. I called Trinity and I ended up joining based on high credit card bills and high interest rate. And my counselor at Trinity has been great, and Trinity has been helping me to get on the right path of paying off these credit card bills, bringing down the interest rate. They have consolidated my bills into one monthly payment. And now I am finally getting out of credit card debt. So I just want to say thank you, Trinity, for showing me a better and greater path.
If you're in debt, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Sharon, and soon I will be debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976. Find us at 989theanswer.com. Download our apps. Stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH.
I think of Jack Ryan. You ever watch Jack Ryan on Amazon? The dude. Yeah, I didn't know that guy.
Breaking news this hour.
That was The Office.
Townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Hurricane Milton is weakening slightly, but remains a ferocious storm that could land a once-in-a-century direct hit on Tampa and St. Petersburg, engulfing that populous region with towering storm surges and turning debris from Helene's devastation 12 days ago into projectiles. President Biden postponing his upcoming trip overseas as Hurricane Milton approaches. The president was scheduled to leave Washington on Thursday.
All right, there's more coming in hour number 2 on Kamala's stupid 60 Minutes interview. If you want to see that, you can go to Bruce Hooley, the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page, or you can go to the 989 The Answer Facebook page. Appreciate you guys watching today. Talk to you later. Get a hit, will you, Guardians? Jeez, how disgusting was that performance?